Hello, everybody. I hope you are all doing very well. Okay, so at eXp, we have access to a lot of really powerful tools, as most of you will know, but we don't always use them to their full potential. So what I want to do in this video is I want to look at 3 of the systems that we should be using and walk you through a very simple, practical workflow that we can actually use to go from obtaining property information to getting owner details and then to ongoing lead nurturing, all in a compliant and a professional way. Please always remember, when I make these videos, I'm not a part of eXp's staff or management. I'm also not part of any of the systems I'm going to show you. I'm just a fellow eXp agent making use of these systems, but hopefully whatever I can share with you might help you going forward. And for those of you who don't know me, I'm Vorster from eXp in South Africa, and together with my wife Lydia, we have been agents since 2005 in Cape Town's northern suburbs. Okay, now just to be clear, this is going to be a very short and a fairly high-level walkthrough of some of the systems, not a detailed explanation of every single system. So the goal here is not to replace the detailed training that's available on each of those systems, but rather to just show you how I personally connect the dots between them. Look, there is excellent in-depth training available on Lightstone and the virtual agent and PropCon. And I strongly encourage you to really tap into all those trainings if you really want to use these tools to their full potential. What I'm going to show you today is more the basic flow that I use, how I move from Lightstone to the virtual agent and then into PropCon, so that you can see how these tools sort of work together in real life and how I use them. And hopefully that'll be of help to you. So we're going to start in Lightstone, where you can obviously get property information and owner information for a specific property, or even owner information for a whole street or a whole estate or a whole sectional title complex. And from there, I'm going to show you how we take those details, especially the ID numbers, and we use them in the virtual agent, which is another system we use. We use those ID numbers then to obtain contact details so that you can contact the owners of any of the properties. Please remember, no matter what I show you today, it is your responsibility to always keep compliant with the POPI Act, the Protection of Personal Information Act. So please make sure you know how that works and make sure you always adhere to the law when you are contacting people. Okay, and then lastly, as we move into PropCon, then I'm going to show you how to import those details that you've already obtained from Lightstone and the virtual agent into PropCon, which is our customer relationship management system, the CRM, so that let's just say you're not just making a once-off call to somebody, but you're actually building a long-term database with leads that you can sort of touch and nurture over time. So you can do this with reminders and follow-ups and birthday wishes and the ability to send newsletters to them and stay in touch over time. So that in this way, you will always stay top of mind, so that when people want to buy or sell property in future, you are hopefully the trusted agent that immediately comes to mind. Okay, so firstly, what you have here on my screen is your Okta system. Obviously, all you eXp agents should know this. This is where we access all of our systems. So once you log into Okta, what we're going to do, firstly, I'm going to have a look at Lightstone. So obviously, your tiles on Okta might not look in the same order as mine. The reason is you can actually drag them around. As you see, I've just dragged my Lightstone to the right. I'm going to drag it back again. So I've got them dragged in an order that works for me. Okay, firstly, we're going to look at Lightstone. So when you click in and log into your Lightstone, this is pretty much where you end up. Okay, I'm going to start off by simply going to a property report, where you can see if you know of a certain property and you want to contact that owner, you can then obviously get their details to do so. So on the left-hand menu, I don't know if I must maybe zoom in. On the left-hand menu, you've got a whole menu. So if you go to property report, obviously here you can search. Either you can click on the map and search there. At the top, you can search for address, whatever you want to do. Okay, so I'm going to search simply for Minuet Ridge, just as an example. Okay, I'm going to actually do it over here. In the forms, there's many ways you can search, just sort of play around with it. So I'm going to go to sectional title scheme. I'm going to go Minuet Ridge, and it'll bring me up all the possibilities. This is the one I want in Swanstraal Heights. And the unit number I'm going to be looking at is number 83. This unit actually belongs to Shanae, our daughter, but so I'm just using it so I don't tread on any toes. So I'm going to search for that one as though it was just a property and I want to know who the owner is. There we go, it finds it, and I click on there. So obviously here now you've got a property report, right? And in this property report, you're going to see all the details and the section number and the size and all the property details, which you could want for other purposes. Right now, what we'd be interested in obviously is who is the owner. So there you can see Vorster Shanae and the ID number. That is the information we're really interested in. I'm just going to go down just so you know. If you didn't know, if you go down, and you will eventually get all the comparable sales here as well. So you can see what has been selling in and around Minuet Ridge. That's, of course, information you could use later on for a CMA or a valuation estimate, etc. Nevertheless, so just while we're on this, obviously, if you see over there, there's a button which is a download button, so you can download this whole report in a PDF document if you want to save it. Just while we're on that note, also the comparable sales over there. Once you're there, if you look at the top of that little map, there you can export the comparable sales to Excel as well. But that's a different topic. Just while I was on that. Okay, so you can save this as a thing, or you can now take that ID number and we can go and search for it in the virtual agent. I just want to show you one or two extra functionalities while we're in Lightstone, so you don't always have to search for one property and one owner. Let's say, for instance, you want to get all the owners in a specific street. So Lightstone has various reports down the side, as you'll see, and you would be using the ones which start with owners. So you could search for owners in a sectional scheme. So there you would search for a sectional scheme such as Minuet Ridge, for instance, or you could search for owners in an estate by the estate name, or owners in a street. Okay, so any one of those could work. I'm going to, for purposes of this, I'm going to click on, let's find all the owners in a specific street. Okay, so let's say I'm looking in a suburb here by us, which is Amanda Glen and Sonstroll, and maybe I'm looking then for owners in Bethany Street. Bethany, there we go. So it'll bring all the Bethany's up countrywide, really, but I'm going to go for Bethany, let's just say in Amanda Glen, just because Bethany is a long street. It goes from one suburb to the other. Okay, owners in street. So here we go. Street details, Bethany Road, and as you go down there, you will now see, you will have all the owners in the street with the street numbers, etc., and their names and their ID numbers and the earth numbers, etc. So you can now also download this. If you look over there, there's a download button. So you can either download it in a normal PDF report, or on the right-hand side, you see there's a button to download it as an Excel file. Just remember now, I said you can do this for a street, or for a sectional title unit, or for an estate. Right, so we've just done a street. So if you click on download the Excel file, this is what you're going to get from Lightstone. So this is now what the Excel file looks like. So it'll have the numbers, the street number, the road, the owners' names, and their ID numbers. Now, this is obviously what we need, is the ID numbers we need to carry forward so that we can go and find contact details for these owners. Right, so now that you have the owner details and, of course, the ID numbers, these you can now use to search for contact details. And for this, we're going to use the system which is called the virtual agent. So back to our Okta quickly. There we go. So now you will click on the virtual agent and you'll log in there. This is what it will look like when you log in. So you have various options. So firstly, you can now, for every single one of those people that you've looked up, or if it was just one, then just the one, you can go and search by ID number. I'm just going to show you, I'm going to search somebody by ID number. I'm just going to show you, you can also search, for instance, for a company. So for a company, just as an example, let me copy a company number here. So you could search for a company number like that, all right? But what you've got to do is you've got to take out the slashes of the company number. There you go. Now you search for the company number. Now what you'll find is you'll find the directors, and then you'll get their ID numbers, and then from that you can search their contact details if you want. Okay, but back to the people. So let's just say I wanted to search for, well, let's just search for me. Here's my ID number. I'm giving away my age now. And I say find. And there we go. There's Andre Vorster with his ID number. Now if I click on that ID number, now that it's in there, you click on the left on contact. And here you're going to get a whole lot of numbers that could possibly work for Andre Vorster. The system is actually very, very accurate, I found. So this will be all numbers that have been previously associated with me. And I actually know all these numbers. So at the top is usually the most relevant and most recent number. These other numbers are actually other cell phone numbers. One is Lydia's and one is one of my children's, etc., that are in my name and are actually still valid. And some of these others are previous landlines of mine, etc. But obviously, the top one is usually the most valid. So now what I've done is I've gone from Lightstone, where I've found the ID number. I've gone to the virtual agent and I've put the ID number in, and I've obtained the contact details. So what I can now do is on that Lightstone Excel file which now had everything, I can now just add a column for now for the moment, and every one of these people, as I search them, I can go and add their cell phone numbers in here, which we are now then going to later use to import into PropCon. Okay, so there I'm just going to paste that cell phone number, and for every single one of these people, as I search them, I'll add the cell phone number. And just on that note, when you're in your virtual agent, obviously as an eXp agent, just know you have access to the virtual agent and you have 60 credits every single day. You'll see I've used 2, so for now I have 58 left for the day. Every single day you're allowed to search for 60 people, and that's all included in your eXp normal monthly fee. You don't pay anything extra for that. Okay, so now we have those owner details and we've searched them all, and we've put in cell phone numbers for every single one of them. So now you've already got some sort of a database going, right? For Bethany Street, I've got all the owners and I've got all their contact details, their cell phone numbers. Now what you want to do is you want to go and get all this information into PropCon, into your CRM, because that's a powerful system that we can use, obviously, to keep contact with these people in various ways so that we stay top of mind, so that when they're ready to sell or buy, they will be using us. So again, back to our Okta. Okta, you will simply go to your PropCon. I already opened mine here. That's the dashboard. So now what you need to do is you need to import all those names into PropCon, into your database, right? So click on the menu on the left top where the 3 little bars are, and you go to contacts and just click on default. So this will open up all your previous contacts that you have loaded into PropCon. Now to load a new contact, you just go to the top right there, new. Now, if it was a single person that you want to add once off to your PropCon, you simply say manual input, click on that, and then you will go and fill in all the details. And as you carry on, you can fill in more details, etc. Or otherwise, as in this case, where we now have a whole street, all the owners in the streets details, I'm going to do a bulk import. But say I'm going to go new again because I'm adding new contacts, new at the top right there, and then bulk import from Excel. So here you want to import an Excel file into PropCon with all the owners so that they all are added simultaneously and they're all in your database, and you do not have to do it one by one. The only thing is you can now not use that specific Excel file that you've now compiled off of Lightstone and the virtual agent, simply because you've got to get it in a format that PropCon will acknowledge. So when you import it into PropCon, the most important thing every time always is the column headers. Because PropCon will go and look for column headers and it will add people into the right places and into the right fields. So what all you've got to do now is you've got to make sure that the headers are correct for PropCon to acknowledge. And what you will do to do that is from PropCon, you will download a PropCon template Excel file. So here you'll see there it says upload your contact list. That's what we're going to do just now. But to start off with, we're first going to download the Excel template for PropCon. So we've got the correct template which PropCon will acknowledge. So you download that. It then looks like this. So it's very much like the one we saw. This one you're looking at now, this is the Lightstone one, right, that we downloaded from Lightstone. We're now going to copy all this information into the correct columns for PropCon, because those top headers are correct, and those are the headers that PropCon will acknowledge so that it knows what to do with the information you are uploading. Okay, so basically all you're going to do is you're going to take all the information from your Lightstone and the virtual agent template that you had, or Excel file that you had, and you are now going to go and paste those details here. So you're going to paste the names, all the names, then all the surnames, and all the email addresses if you have them, then all the cell numbers that you've just looked up. The ID numbers you're going to paste in. Birthday you do not need to put in unless you don't have the ID number. But if you put in an ID number, PropCon is automatically going to create the correct birthday for you. And so we carry on. Tags is something I'm going to speak about lightly. This is how you can really order your database. So for instance, in this case, each person will work however they want to work. You could label people as males or females or by language or whatever. You could have various tags for a person. And then later in PropCon, you're going to be able to search for a tag and you'll get all the people that you had labeled like that. So in this case, for instance, I would probably label these people, pull in all the names and everything now for Bethany Street, and I would tag them as Bethany Street firstly. And I've also added tag, so you can add multiple tags, you just have to separate them with a comma. Okay, so I'll put firstly Bethany Street. So later on, if I go and search for Bethany Street, I'll get all these people. I would add another tag for the suburb, so Sonnenstrahl. So later, if I go to on PropCon and I search for Sonnenstrahl, I'm going to get all the people that were labeled Sonnenstrahl. So if I have another street that I'm uploading from Sonnenstrahl, I would tag it Smith Street, Sonnenstrahl. So when I go and search for Sonnenstrahl on PropCon, I will get all of those people that are in Sonnenstrahl, no matter which street they're in. Anyway, I'm rambling on a bit, I know. And you can also put the house anniversary in there, which is going to be very handy later. It will also be able to give you a reminder that these people, their property has been registered a year ago or 2 years ago, and you can even congratulate them on that. These are all contact points that help you to stay top of mind. Okay, the point is, so you had all this information from Lightstone, and over here you will have put it in all the cell phone numbers. Now you're going to copy them each one and put them in the correct columns in the PropCon template. When you've done that, now you're going to go back to PropCon, and you're going to go and browse, and you're going to go upload the file that you saved now with all the Bethany Street owners in, and all their contact details and the tags, and then all in the correct format that PropCon likes. So you simply upload it, you browse, you go and look for that file, wherever it is, upload it, and it'll pull in all those contacts. Okay, it could be hundreds depending on what you've done. Sorry, I mean in this case, this street has 89 people in. Okay, so now they're all in there. They're all in your PropCon, and now what can you do with them? So now they are in your database in PropCon, so that you can nurture them and you can stay in contact with them in many, many ways that PropCon enables you to. And I really encourage you to go and have a look at all the videos that PropCon has available, because it's a very, very powerful system and it offers you a lot of functionality. Let's maybe look at one or two examples, although we're not going too deep in this video because then it becomes too long. But let's look at one or two examples. So let's just say you can now go to your contacts, because you have now uploaded those contacts. So go to contacts on your left menu on PropCon contacts, default. So this will now take you to all your contacts that you've ever uploaded, right? I've just put them blank here, but I've got a lot of contacts in here, more than 12,000, as you'll see at the bottom. Okay. Now, for instance, if you wanted to go and find a specific contact, you can simply type in their name and surname. Let's just say I've typed in Vorster. All the Vorsters will come up if I was looking for somebody because for some reason I want to contact them, or their email address I could use, or their mobile. So you can filter them and search people. What is very handy now, after I showed you that you can tag people. So now I've tagged, for instance, all those people as Bethany Street and as Sonnenstrahl suburb. So let's just say one example that, as you saw earlier, I searched for Shanae and Minuet Ridge. Now let's just say Minuet Ridge. So I've got a whole list of all the owners in Minuet Ridge. And when I uploaded them as Minuet Ridge for one tag, with a comma separated, also as Sonnenstrahl Heights, which is the suburb they're in. So let's say I wanted to contact all the people and send them a bulk email, all my people in Minuet Ridge. Maybe I want to send them a newsletter or something. So I could search here for Minuet, and then all those people, it just takes a little while it's filtering, and it finds all the contacts that are in Minuet Ridge. You can see it's 16 pages of 10, so it's about 160 people. Okay, in the same sense, you'll see that these people were tagged. If you look at that column over there, they were tagged as Minuet Ridge, which is why I found them now. They also tagged this as Sonnenstrahl Heights. So you'll see Minuet Ridge, if you look here, is 125 contacts. At the bottom there, you'll see. Now imagine if I search for Sonnenstrahl Heights, they're also going to come up, but they're going to come up with other blocks that I've also done in Sonnenstrahl Heights in the past. So now I'm searching for anything with Sonnenstrahl in. And there it comes up. Now you'll see there are all sorts of things. There's Marita Close and Glencoral and all sorts of people popping up. And now I've got 1,700 people who are actually in the Sonnenstrahl Heights. Anyway, so from there now you could actually do various things. You can send out a bulk email or anything like that. So from here, it's quite easy. Once you've selected the contacts that you want, you can simply go at the top menu over there on the right, click bulk, and you could, for instance, send a bulk email to them or something like that. Okay, so let's just quickly. What you must also know is you as the agent, because you've now uploaded the birthdays, you will receive daily notifications of who has a birthday. If you have loaded their house notifications, you'll get daily notifications of their house anniversaries. So these are all empowering you to make contact with people, and then you can contact them and you don't forget about these things. And every single contact is just nurturing that lead so that so again, you stay top of mind, right? You can also use a bit of automation within PropCon. There's a lot you can do, but let's just take, for instance, for birthdays. You could also set it up so that once you've got lots of contacts, that if anybody has a birthday, they will automatically be sent a message. So you would, on your PropCon, you'd go on the menu on the top left, you go to My Profile, and then to Automation. And so here you can set up various things. So I'm going to just click on the plus button over there. So here you can create a new rule, right? So this new rule, you can click on the drop down button which says choose a new rule. Then it has a few options. So let's say I choose, when a contact has a birthday, I want to send them an email. So click on that one. Now you can create it. So whenever any of your contacts on your database has a birthday, the system will pick that up and it's going to automatically send them the email that you want to send them. So it starts off with a nice draft. So you can use this draft as it is, where you'll see the email subject says happy birthday, and then contact name, that little thing, it just means that it's going to insert, instead of that square brackets contact name label, it's going to insert the person's actual name that is in the database. And then you'll see the email message also says hi, contact name, it'll insert his name. Happy birthday to you. I hope this is the beginning of your greatest and most wonderful year. Wishing you all great things. But you can edit that message. And then whatever's in there, it'll now, whenever any contact has a birthday, it's going to send it to them automatically. So that's a very handy function. What you do need to know, any messages and things you have sent from PropCon, you will have to pay extra for. Your whole PropCon subscription is paid for by eXp, but obviously they can't be liable for 1,400 or more agents as it's growing, 2,000 agents, costs of sending things. But the costs are very, 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 very reasonable, right? So I think an email costs you 2 cents per email. So I mean, if you have 10 people with a birthday today, it's going to cost you 20 cents. And you just basically, you have a wallet in PropCon, you just go to your wallet in the menu, in your profile, there's a wallet. You just add funds there, maybe add 100 Rand, and then it'll be deducted from that every time an email is sent. Okay, well, that was just 1 or 2 examples. So PropCon has so much functionality. You really do need to go into the help section and go and search all the help videos that are available, because there's so much, something to suit everybody. I think that's it for this video. So that was basically the simple flow that I use, right? Lightstone for property insights and owner details. Then we move over to the virtual agent to get the contact details of those owners. And then we use PropCon to nurture those leads over time. So when you use these tools together consistently and compliantly, of course, remember POPI, then you're not just making once-off phone calls. You're actually building a real sort of long-term sustainable business. That's it from me. I hope this video will be of some help to you going forward. And I wish you every success in your business. And yes, go well, stay safe, and God bless.